Welcome back, everybody. We're talking about a great investment opportunity with Sasha Cucuz. So in terms of qualifying and people wanting, to discuss this in person to see if this suits and fits them, you do that person by person. You take the time to actually spend with them to see if this is the right fit, which I love. I love that. And when we're going back to risk, I think one of the biggest risks, everybody, that a lot of people are making is that they're just having this cash sitting in bank accounts, letting inflation eat it away. And that to me is really criminal. So you need to educate yourself and be out there understanding all the various options that are available to you and making sure you pass that knowledge on to the kids so that they themselves can know that they are responsible for their own finances and never to rely on the good old government, which a lot of people unfortunately tend to do. Let's talk about in terms of time frame. I think that's another thing that people maybe don't understand.
Sure.
So depending on the investment, there's a time continuum, and as we all know, the most expensive commodity in life is time.
It is.
But in this case, time is a wonderful thing. It's your friend. So can you touch upon, if I go ahead and invest, what that minimum kind of amount is, and more importantly, how long am I going to be having that cash vested?
Sure. I think you're right in saying that time is your friend. And what we always say is that whether people know it or not, the reason they're investing in real estate is because they have an inherent belief that over time, it'll be worth more tomorrow than it is today.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the fundamental tenets behind investing in real estate. So parking that over to the side, if when we talk about the specifics of Greybrook deals, there's three sort of types of investing, if you will. So there's high rise, and the general time frame for a high rise development, that's what we call high density, so condominiums and things like that. We're talking about a 4.5 to 5 year total time frame. And it's usually you invest your money on day one, and at the end, you realize your money that, the principal you put in plus all of the profit. And that equates to, over the period of time, 20+% return. That's our target, but that's how we come up with the return profile. We do townhomes and homes. So when we do townhomes, they're usually smaller in scale, because if you look at townhouse developments, they're usually 100, 200 units. Those are about 2 to 3 years in duration in total. And that's, again, usually money goes in on day one, and then 2 or 3 years later, when it's completed, you get your principal back plus all of the profit. Right?
Okay.
And then the last sort of type of development we do is something called a master plan community. So those are usually done in other parts. Toronto, you're never going to buy 10 acres and be able to do a master plan community because all the land's gone.
That's right.
But when you go into other markets, such as outside of Hamilton or in the Kitchener-Waterloo area or outside of Guelph, there are opportunities to do these master plan communities, and they can sometimes be 1,000 units in total.
So much larger.
Much larger in scale. There'll be homes and townhomes.
So mixed use.
Mixed use, no high rise. We focus downtown on high rise, and we don't do high rise outside of the what we say the 416.
Okay.
But those projects can sometimes take 4 to 6 or 7 years in total duration, depending on how many units you're developing. But the good news with those projects is that money doesn't go in on day one and come out at the very end, because they're divided up into phases.
You're getting paid out in those phases.
As we go,
Clever.
right? So as soon as you might be doing 1,000 unit total development, you might divide it into 5 phases of 200 homes. So as you finish 200 homes, you're going to realize some of your return. So again, your principal comes out usually within the first 3 years of that total development, and then over years 3 to 6 or 7, you'll get the balance, which consists of your profit. And again, the way we calculate our returns is we like to keep things simple. We say, if I was in a deal for 5 years and I made put $100 in and made $100, then my return is 20% per year. That's how it's a simple sort of annualized calculation.
I have to tell you, not only are you rocking the pink tie, but you truly have helped to explain how the whole process works. And that's what it's all about. It's educating, at the same time allowing people to think if this is something that may work for them. Now, we're going to push out in social media, Sasha, all the examples that you've done to date, so people can see roughly what the return on their investment, the people that actually participated in that. The one thing I also want to mention is a lot of the people that we've already brought in, to Greybrook, meaning the people that have learned about you, participated. What I find is that they've all reinvested. They just stay in, which says a lot. That's compliments to the organization.
It's a 96% investor retention rate. That's a big
huge
deal to us.
It's a big deal to us too.
It's not just about producing returns.
Yep.
It's about what we say client experience. I mean, you need to be informed, you need to get timely reporting and all that kind of thing, and we take that very seriously.
Yeah. So remember, everybody, you can visit realestatetalkshow.ca, and there's a wealth of information there, or you can call our help desk anytime at 844-ASK-RETS. That's 844-ASK-RETS. And you can just ask for Sasha directly because he's got the coolest last name, Cucuz.
It's a
Sasha
interesting
Cucuz.
one to pronounce.
Sasha Cucuz.
It's a tongue twister.
Not
you
bad.
do it well.
Not bad, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We need to take a short break, everybody, but stick around. When we return, TV host and handyman Rob Evans of The Expandables. He joins us to discuss creating spaces out of impossible places.